All right, everyone. So it's actually been a great. It's been a good minute since we actually did like a live stream like this, but I actually do have some new like plans to basically tell every one of you right now as we're getting ready to start the stream. So, um, I am actually thinking about every Sunday we are going to do a live stream of like this that we are technically doing right now, and it sometime it'll be either a few minute, 10-minute live stream, or sometime it'll be like a 20 to like 40-minute live stream. We're just going to have to start like because I've been doing YouTube for like a little over like 4 years or so, and I actually was told that like in order to me to start, like getting like heavily more like views, subscribers, and all of this and whatnot, like I'm going to have to immediately start, like scheduling like times on like what I'm going to like do and like set times up and so I can let the people know so they can get ready to watch it, which it's still going to take some time to especially get up to the big, YouTubers and whatnot, like most of the ones that I watch, like Review Tech USA, RGT85, and Crap Gamer Reviews, and like all of them, amazing like YouTubers and whatnot that have like over thousands upon thousands of views and also subscribers as well. It's still going to take quite a time. But on the good note, I will say that I am very very proud of actually what I have accomplished on this channel. Just earlier today, or maybe it was last night, but it was either last night or earlier today. I will say that we have now officially made it to 1,652 subscribers, but it still is going to take quite some time in order for us to get like it's definitely going to take quite a time till we could probably reach, if we ever can, especially to the numbers like the YouTubers that I just named off, like Review Tech USA and Crap Gamer Reviews. It's going to take quite some time. But what my new goal, and this is what I'm going to start possibly thinking about doing, is we're possibly going to start doing some live streams every Sunday, just about. And the reason why is, like I said, in order to get more like viewers and subscribers, like a couple of my friends that are YouTubers have told me, is we need to basically make plans and schedules of what we are honestly going to do. And that's actually what I'm thinking about doing, is we're going to start doing live streams, and we'll just randomly like do random streams and discuss about what's going on in the gaming world, and what are my thoughts of certain things in the gaming world, and like how do I feel, all of that good stuff in our live streams. But as time also goes on, we will still do like random like videos off and on, which I know I haven't been really good like setting the times and like dates of like doing like actual videos, like making the video and then randomly right as soon as we're done we just upload it to YouTube and whatnot. I know it's just all over the, yeah, I know it's a mess because we just do it randomly. But this is going to be a start, like I said, with the live streams. We're going to start doing them every Sunday. It might be early in the day, it might be late in the evening, but Sunday is what the catch is going to literally be. And I'm going to make sure that we do this and everything's going to work. But the title of this stream, about the Xbox and PlayStation, like how they're great brands, I personally do think that Sony, Microsoft have done really amazing jobs. I know like Sony is more in the lead, especially when it comes to like exclusives and console sales and you name it and whatnot. But there's some pretty good things that Microsoft, Phil Spencer has also done. Like today, we we basically just got the confirmed acquisition of Bethesda now working with Microsoft, and it's actually like I don't honestly think that Bethesda is as good as they used to be back in the day. Like we had great, amazing games, and honestly, also still to that day, great looking games from like Fallout 3 and then also Fallout New Vegas, and also one of the big ones, which this is actually my favorite one, and I'm sure it's a lot of others' favorite game from Bethesda, but Skyrim is actually my all-time favorite game from Bethesda, but I have played Fallout 4, and Fallout 4 is tremendously. It's really great. It is one of the best looking games still to this day on like the PlayStation 4 and even the Xbox One. Even on Microsoft's original like launch Xbox One, like the the big black VCR looking thing. Fallout 4 is actually still one of the most impressive looking games, especially when it comes to the less powerful hardware as the last generation of consoles. That game actually, when it did come out, or well, it was like right after it came out, and I do remember that my dad like had it, and I tried it out on my original Xbox One, right? And the game actually was phenomenal, and I still hold to this day that that's still one of the most impressive, best looking games on the eighth generation of consoles, the PS4 and Xbox One. But also, I know that there's a lot of people that are really, really thankful, including myself, that got a either a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One like X or whatever, and they were they were just so happy that they got to experience like the 4K gaming and all that, and was like, man, like this is the most impressive thing ever. And I'm personally myself cannot agree anymore, because I bought a PS4 Pro back on August 16th of 2017, and the PS4 Pro, like the first game that I actually tried out on it, it was either this game on the screen, which is Grand Theft Auto 5, which probably every one of you on this that watches this stream probably already knows, and probably every one of you that are subscribed to my YouTube channel probably knows that that's what it is. But it was either this game or possibly Jack and Daxter, because I do remember that game, as the PlayStation 2 versions got remastered for the PlayStation 4, and it could they released that game as soon as like right around the time when I basically upgraded from the PlayStation 4 Slim to the PlayStation 4 Pro. And I know that there's going to be people that are going to be like, well, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles are out, which those are really still those are like probably the best consoles that we have right now. Truthfully, they are. And I did get lucky and get a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X pre-ordered, and both got them on day one. So I was actually really lucky. I didn't really almost get I almost did not get a Series X is what I mean to say. That console was like, dude, it was more I'm telling you, it was more of a harassment to get a freaking Xbox Series X more than it was with the PlayStation 5. But mostly the reason why I got both of them, or mainly the PS5, really so easily was because my local GameStop, I would always go to the store and like call in every once in a while to check up, say like, hey, does Sony and Microsoft have announced release dates of when pre-orders are going to start. Are the pre-orders going to start like around this time? What's your like guys' like thought? And because I was seriously really hyped up for the new systems, and I badly wanted to get them on day one. But I managed to get really lucky and did get them on day one. But the reason why it was so hard to get an Xbox Series X was Microsoft actually did a little bit of a smarter approach than what Sony did. They announced about, I want to say, 2 weeks before the pre order date, they said was the pre orders for the Xbox Series X and Series S began on September 22nd, which was a Tuesday. And it was like the Thursday the week before, or 2 weeks before the pre order dates have started. And that actually gave me a little bit of a heads up, which it was really tough. But the reason why it was tough for me to get an Xbox Series X was because I went to my local GameStop, and uh, my friend that I know very well that works there, he doesn't know more. He basically left the company just I want to say a month or so ago, but it was just recently. He left the company because the way that the new management that they just got was telling him how to do his job, and he made a lot of sense of like the way that they were treating him, and he wasn't going to take any of their bull crap. And they were trying to basically say like, like these toys or whatever, like Nintendo little like action figures and stuff like that. They were trying to say like, oh, you're going to put Fortnite right here, put Nintendo stuff on this side of Fortnite, put PlayStation stuff on the other side of the Nintendo stuff, or the other side of Fortnite stuff, and then more Nintendo stuff over there, instead of like putting like all the Nintendo stuff all together, all Fortnite stuff all together. Like it, the way he was explaining to me about the management, not like trying to keep stuff like in the right spots, it made me actually like, does he even know what the heck he's doing at a store like that? And apparently the management really did not. But that's basically what happened, and he's actually worked there for quite a long time. He's worked there basically ever since our local GameStop basically was, pretty much open and created. So he knows very well on how to run that store because of him working all those years of being there. So I was pretty much on his side. And I'm telling you, there's people out there that will do anything to screw you over or to think that they're better. And I'm telling you, nobody's never going to have a great life. That's for sure. But he did come out when there was like five, six, seven of us that were in line waiting for to pre-order an Xbox Series X and a Series S. So he comes out right when the store was getting ready to open, and he carefully said that, hey, we only have six pre-orders for the Xbox Series X and two pre-orders for the Xbox Series S. I was in line. I got there in time to get one of those systems, but there was already six people in there that were getting a Xbox Series X, and that's the console I wanted. I didn't want a Series S. I wanted a Series X. I wanted the more powerful console because I wanted the true 4K gaming experience, because that's me. I'm more big when it comes to hardware. So we got there, and I was basically the first person in line to get a Series S, while there was already six of them there for the Series X. And I got told, well, at least you can get a Series S. And I was like, no. I was like, I ain't getting a Series S. I want the Series X because I want the full next gen Xbox experience. So I waited till 11 o'clock, which was an hour later, before places like Walmart, Target, and all of that good stuff would start the pre orders up. Then it got really tough as soon as Walmart pre order started. As soon as I went there and said add to cart, I tried to buy it, and then it said, well, looks like you're crap out of luck. We're sold out. And it was just like that instantly. Like that instantly, they were out of pre-orders, and they sold every console that they can. So I tried Target. Target was also sold out. Best Buy and Amazon had coming soon. So I tried Best Buy, and Best Buy actually said coming soon. So every like a half an hour, 45 minutes, I would constantly keep checking Best Buy's website to see if it was going to be available. And then eventually I did see it come for available, and I tried to buy it, and then the stuff would not go through. So I tried it again a half an hour later, and it still said, like, I think it still said coming soon or whatever, even though it already did. And I was like, all right. I was like, I guess I'm not going to be getting an Xbox Series X, which freaking stinks. So I checked about another hour later, and it said add to cart. And I was like, oh my gosh, is it actually going to work this time? So then I tried to pre order it. And then finally, out of nowhere, as soon as I did all that stuff again, even after the first time, it would not go through because the site kept getting screwed up. I tried that crap all over again, and next minute, it said, "Thank you for your purchase. We appreciate you," and da 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 this and whatever that you get as a survey or whatever as soon as you pre-order a system. So then I was like, "Oh my goodness, did it finally go through?" And I went to my bank statements and checked to see if the money was taken out, and whoop-de-doo, the money was officially taken out, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have finally got the Series X pre-order. I can't freaking believe it. So it was really tough to get a freaking Xbox Series X, like, I am not going to lie. So it was freaking tough. Let me tell you. But the good news is that I got lucky, and I finally got an Xbox Series X pre-ordered, and I was able to pick one up day one. So I was actually really, really happy. But as I was actually getting back to all that before I figured I'd tell all of you guys about what happened. But yeah, the Xbox Series X, considering that I finally got it also, even though it was a lot harder than getting the PlayStation 5 on day one, I gotta say I'm really impressed with the both of the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Now, they do have two different models of the PS5. They have a disc drive version and then a digital version that's like $100 cheaper, which most people are going to go for the digital version because they're going to save money, and that's what this future is starting to turn into. It's most likely turning into basically digital and less physical sales and all that. But I actually managed to purchase or pre-order the disc drive version PS5. So I was like, well, for the extra $100, I could possibly be getting a few disc games here and there, probably for like a birthday present, a Christmas gift, you name it. And if I was to get something like that, like from a friend or family member or something, because that's very, very possible that I can get. And if I did get like a game or something, like say like the next Call of Duty or whatever, like let's say the next Call of Duty for 2021, I get it, and let's say that it's from Sledgehammer Games, which is rumored right now, and I honestly believe that this year is from Sledgehammer Games. But let's say it's World War III, which that's what I think it's going to be, but we don't know. But like, let's just say I get that game and I get it for my PS5, and somebody like my stepbrother or family member or best friend or whatever the case may be ends up buying me it for like the PS5 for on disc, well, then I'm going to have the basically the right console to play that disc in. So that's actually a really, really good, step to do. So that was the main reason, one of the main reasons. And then also, like, if there's a brand new game and I don't know quite 100% sure if I'm going to like that game or not, then I can go out and basically buy it on the disc. And then if I don't like it, then I can pretty much take it back. But as of right now, 90% of my games are going to be straight up digital. And that is the future that we are turning into. And that's the future that is getting pushed. So, digital is actually now a lot better for me because now I got like now the amazing fast internet, and it just really is incredible. So with the amazing fast internet and not being able to like leave your place and being able to basically like purchase the games or whatnot and then get them downloaded instantly within like an hour or two to play them, that's a really freaking amazing start and whatnot. So this all started basically back in the late 2018 is when I basically started to humongously transfer it over to digital purchases and not physical purchases. The last major physical game, like I still have bought physical games. Like last year, I bought Days Gone for the PlayStation 4, and I think it was Madden NFL 20. Yeah, it was Madden NFL 20. I also bought for the PS4. Let's see, Days Gone. I bought for the PS4, all and the Outer Worlds. That was another game that I also bought, and then there was one other game that I bought for the PlayStation 4 alongside those three, and I actually can't think of what it is. I think it might have been The Walking Dead. Oh no, no, no! It was Fallout 76 because they had a sale going on and it was like less than $20, and then I was like, all right, well that's $20 for a game that I'm never going to play most likely, but I would probably will play at some point in time, especially because I do have a few friends on the PlayStation 4 that that does own that game, and I got it because of the sell price, and I was like, well, yeah, my friends can hit me up whenever they want if they want to play Fallout 76, and that's basically less than $20 for just a game that's over a year. I know that that game's not really all that well, and that's one of the main reasons why I barely ever played it. I did play it a few times on my Xbox One X because I got the white special GameStop exclusive edition Xbox One X because that console was bundled with Fallout 76, and it was $100 off, and I was like, dang, that's a freaking great deal. A white GameStop special edition Xbox One X, the most powerful console, for $100 cheaper, basically the same as the PS4 Pro, but more power and a free game. I was like, there's no other deal better than that. So I went and bought that just about a couple years ago, and that was a fantastic buy. I'm going to say that was a really great buy. But yeah, so the Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro are also still really, really great consoles from Sony and Microsoft, especially like if you are basically a person that started 4K gaming, and 4K is like what you want to see because you want to see like how great games are going to run and how smooth the frame rate's going to be. Like the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, even with the PlayStation 5 and the Series X out, the PS4 Pro and the One X they still hold up to this day, and most likely they're going to continue to hold up for quite some time now. So you really won't be missing out on anything if you basically decided to keep your PlayStation 4 Pro and your Xbox One X console and all of that, especially because games are still going to play all right. Games are still going to look really, really sharp. And I mean, we've never seen games look as sharp as they do now. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 were the very, very first consoles that we seen a big, humongously jump when it comes to graphics and smooth frame rate and gameplay. And, those consoles were the very first true HD consoles when it came to HD gaming, the PS3 and the Xbox 360. And even still to this day, there's some games on those consoles that also still look pretty dang good. Still to this day, some of the games is definitely Skyrim. Skyrim is still a really, really beautiful looking game, especially on those consoles. It does play at solid 1080p on both of the PS3 and yeah, Xbox 360. And another thing that I did like about the 360, especially over the PS3, is because games actually were the superior to basically play on the 360 because it was easy to basically make games play smoother and whatnot. It was that stupid cell processor inside of the PS3 that made games like have a bit more stuttering when it came to frame rate over the 360, but it wasn't like that big of a difference and whatnot. The PlayStation 3 still managed to outsell the Xbox 360 by like I think like really not that really not that many units. It was basically on par with the 360 and whatnot, and they basically did a fantastic job. And honestly, PS3 is still a fantastic console. Like, don't get me wrong, but other than that, yeah, the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X are still really, really incredible consoles still to this day. Games still look fabulous. They still play, and I'm sure a lot of you are probably going to really agree on this. But even though they're not as popular like as the original like launch models or the slim models of the PS4 and Xbox One, it give like Sony and Microsoft basically made these consoles to pretty much give more life into them. And I think so developers can also continue to make great games on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One a bit longer than their life cycle. Like, people are basically saying, like, right now, like, we shouldn't have games coming out no more for the PS4 and Xbox One. And I'm completely against that because of the fact that, like, they're not just going to continue to like they're not going to stop making or producing games for the older hardware just as soon as a new hardware comes out. I mean, like, look back at the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox going up to the Xbox 360 and the PS3, especially the PlayStation 2. Like, that system lived on almost in pretty much in through the entire PlayStation 3. Like, that's how humongously the PlayStation 2 was successful. The PlayStation 2 managed to live on through the PlayStation 3's life cycle. The last major game and the last major like PlayStation 2 that Sony produced was right when the PlayStation 4 was coming out. So, yeah, the PlayStation 2 lived through the PlayStation 3's life cycle. But that could also possibly happen with Sony with the PlayStation 4 because of how successful that it is. It's already outsold the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 1 by 10 million units and whatnot over the PlayStation 1, and then like 30 some to like almost 40 over the PlayStation 3. But Sony has really, really nailed it, especially when it comes to the PlayStation 4. So it could also very well happen with the PS4, but I kind of doubt the PlayStation 4 is going to live on way through the PlayStation 5's life cycle, but who knows, it might because of how successful that it is and how many units that people have and that it's sold. Like the PlayStation 4, it's sold around, I think, 113 million units, almost going up to 120. But here in the next month or two, we'll probably get a big number or an upgrade number from what Sony does of the quarter and physical year and whatnot ending. We'll see how many units Sony has sold by then. But I most likely am going to guarantee that it won't. I honestly think the year that I think that Sony is going to no longer be having games come out for the PS4 is most likely going to be probably sometime between the end of 2022 to like possibly 2024 at the latest. But the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, they absolutely are not going to live on through the Series X and the PlayStation 5's life cycle. But there are rumors and speculations of the Series X and PS5 possibly living a bit more longer because of how much power that they got into them. And I mean, they are basically really, really true, capable 4K 60 FPS game consoles. And that's what people really want is they want to see the 4K crisp visuals and still being able to maintain a smooth frame rate like 60 frames a second. So, and with the games that I have been seeing, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and Borderlands 3, and then some exclusives on them like Days Gone and whatnot that they're able to get run at 60 frames on the PS5, and Forza Horizon 4 on the Xbox side of things, being able to maintain a 4K and 60 frames a second. Unlike on the One X, you basically had to choose between two options. It was either you would pick a 4K and smooth 30 FPS, or you would pick a lower resolution 1080p with a solid 60 FPS. So I honestly think that this could possibly very well be true. But then there's also been discussions about whether if not, if Sony or Microsoft will even produce another mid-generation upgrade of like a PlayStation 5 Pro and an Xbox Series X2 or whatever that they're going to call the next upgraded Xbox of whatever it's going to be. But there have been like patches or speculations and patents about Sony does have plans to release a PlayStation 5 Pro, and they've been saying that that's going to be releasing in the holiday season of 2023, which honestly would make a lot more sense because if you really think about it, that's 3 years after the PS5's initial launch came out, and that was the same thing with the PS4. The PS4 Pro didn't come out till 2016, and the standard PS4 was launched back in 2013, a total of 3 years. So it's basically not in shocking or anything like that at all. So I personally do believe that we are going to see a PS5 Pro and an Xbox Series X Part 2 or Xbox Series X slash 2 or or whatever Microsoft is honestly going to call the mid-generation Series X console or whatever the heck it's going to call it, because Microsoft's just been making weird names with their consoles as of lately compared to like Sony. Sony's just been going straightforward 1, 2, 3, 4, a 4 Pro, a 5 Pro. Sony just does the best when it comes to naming their consoles. But Microsoft is like with their names, like it gets people really, really confused. Like let's look at this way. You got Xbox One, Xbox 360, and then not like the original Xbox One, but like Xbox One 2013, and then you got Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X, and then whatever the heck that Microsoft is going to call their next console. So yeah, like Microsoft, honestly, I do have to agree with a lot of the gamers, including a few of the YouTubers that I watched, that they've said that Microsoft needs to do better naming at their consoles. I will say Microsoft does need to do better, but it would have been better if Microsoft would have just stick with what they were going to do, because you have the original Xbox, which is basically just called Xbox. Then you got Xbox 360, which was their second generation Xbox. And then before that they changed it to Xbox One, their eighth generation Xbox was supposed to be Xbox 720. And it would have made a ton of sense because Xbox, then 360, 720, that would just add up and it would have been a lot better name. And I'm sure most of you that are probably watching this stream or that do watch this stream probably after it's over, you're probably going to most likely agree that Microsoft should have stick with that naming as they were originally going to do. But yeah, Microsoft does need to do better naming, and who knows if Microsoft's going to call the next the mid-generation Xbox of the series going to be probably like Series X/2 or Series XX. Like there's just so many dumb names that you can think of right now that Microsoft would really name a mid-generation upgrade if it's even possible. But there have been rumors and speculations that we probably may not see a freaking another mid-generation upgrade like we did with the Xbox One and PS4, mostly because their consoles got the enough power into them. And like I said, this is what a lot of people have wanted. They wanted a clean, crisp 4K experience and also a smoother lock 60 frames or possibly even 120 frames a second. So this is what everybody really asks for, especially when it comes to the console gaming industry. They want the smooth experience frame rate, a locked 60 FPS, and a clean, crisp 4K visuals. And I'm pretty sure that is actually what we are getting with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. So these are definitely really impressive pieces of hardware that we have just got a few months ago. But yeah, like the Xbox and PlayStation, they're really both they're both amazing brands, and I've never been any happier to own both of them. Like I have a 360, I have a PlayStation 3, I have also an original Xbox One and PS4 as well as a PS4 Pro, an Xbox One X, and also like I mentioned in the early part of the stream, I did get a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X on launch day. So Sony's really the best when it comes to making great quality exclusive games and whatnot. And Microsoft is actually really good at making the most powerful console ever to play the third party games on, to if you want the best experience on games like Call of Duty and whatever that we get like every single year, then the Xbox is going to be your best choice if you want the best graphical looking version of it all and the best frame rate version. Like they really are good. But with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, even though the Series X does come out to be a little bit more powerful than the PlayStation 5, it's definitely not as humongous of a difference that you are going to see. Games are pretty much looking identical. And I mean, even with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, with games not looking at native 4K on the Pro like they would on the One X, you're basically still seeing a pretty much identical like experience no matter which of those two consoles you play on. So now it's even more harder to tell with the PS5 and Series X because truthfully, both of the Series X and PS5 were built to be 4K and 60 FPS gaming. That is what both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X was really built for, is to get crisp, clean 4K visuals and maintain a smooth 60 FPS. Now, some games probably won't stay at a complete lock 60 FPS, but most games, as I've seen, like Valhalla, is actually a capable system to do so. Then, yeah, these consoles were really built for those, specs and everything. And I'm really impressed with both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. So I am really impressed with both of them. But also with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, I've still technically maintain. I still technically mainly play on those consoles right as of right now, mostly because we don't have like the storage and we don't have like very many games out right now for the new consoles. But every now and again I do play like Call of Duty on the PS5 or the Series X and whatnot. And this game, for an example, is also coming to the new consoles towards the end of the year. And yeah, I really cannot wait until they release this game for the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, and to see the smooth frame rate and the 4K visuals, because that's what I'm talking about, especially with a game like GTA 5, is I'm really looking forward to seeing it look clean, crisp 4K with more sharper detail and visuals, and hopefully it's playing at 60 FPS or even 120. I think, and honestly, I never did thought about this, but I just thought about it just the other day. But if Rockstar and Take Two Interactive were able to get this game to basically play at 4K and a lock 60 frames a second, or 1080p and 120 frames a second, which that's a big possibility that Rockstar and Take Two Interactive can honestly get this game on. That would be honestly really impressive. Like, I would freaking love that. But I personally think what's going to happen is like Rockstar's probably only going to have just one main graphical option, and it's just going to be 4K at a smooth 60 FPS. But there is a big possibility, because more games are starting to have the option to pick smoother frame rate over graphics, or decent frame rate with more detail on graphics. That still is a big possibility that Rockstar could honestly make that as an option. Um, I would love to see something like that. Like I said, I would love to play this game, because this is one of my all time, if not probably the most all time favorite game that I play a lot of. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the most entertaining games to be ever played. And I've kind of been wanting to play this game at like 60 FPS or even a smoother frame rate. So if we have the option to play at 4K 60 or 1080p 120, that would honestly be a miracle, and that would be a dream come true, which I'm sure most of you are probably going to agree that does play this game a lot. You would probably love to see a smooth gameplay experience, which personally, it would be the best thing ever. But we don't know quite 100% yet, because Rockstar hasn't even given us details about like the next gen version yet. The only We did get a tiny bit of details, I do mean to say, but details about like when the release date comes, and like how big the size is going to be, and like if those modes are going to be in the game. The only bit of details that we got from Rockstar about this game for the new systems is that it will have a better weather system. It's going to be definitely way better when it comes to graphics, and that's pretty much all we really know. We don't know if it's going to play 4K 60 frames, or possibly maybe 4K 120, or it's going to have the option to play 4K 60 or 1080p 120. We just don't have any information about that just yet. But we should be getting some more information on the new version of GTA 5 for the new systems probably sometime. I want to say sometime anywhere from in the next month to 3 months from now is possibly when I'm going to think we're going to get probably some kind of more information like that on this game when it comes out to the PS5 and the Series X. But this is pretty much it. This is pretty much our live stream that we basically did. So I'm going to also end the stream right now. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and also comment down in the comment section down below of your thoughts if I did a really good job on this live stream, and if you think that that's a great idea to start doing live streams like this every Sunday or whatnot, and all that good stuff. And then also hit a like if this content was really good and you liked it. So hit a like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on notifications. And we will see you guys on the next video or live stream or whatnot. But without further we go, subscribe, comment down below, hit a like, turn on notifications, and we will see you guys on the next video.